Who knows? Not me. I never lost control. Welcome to the show. And you face to face with the man who sold the world. Passed upon the staff, spoken wasn't wine, although I wasn't there. Said I was his friend, which came as a surprise. I spoke into his eyes, I thought you might have known a long, long time ago. Oh no, not me, I never lost control. Your face, the man who sold the world. Your face, the man who sold the world. With the man who sold the world. I laughed and shook his hand, made my way back home. I searched the farthest land, for years and years I roamed. I gazed and stared, it marked a million hills I must have died alone. Who knows? Not me. We never lost control. Into face with the man who sold the world. The man who sold the world. Like I said, you can have a military that can win wars, or you can have a woke military. You cannot have both. Alright. These motherfuckers. These masters of war and wars of chaos. These men who sold the world. Boomers. They could be looked at as the metaphorical man who sold the world. Sold us all out. Sold us out to social engineers, their gods, money and government. It's not too late to reject all that fucking bullshit. One of the main key things is to reject the ideology known as feminism. Whether you're a male or female, don't be a male feminist. If you're a female, don't take up feminist ideology, because it is the antithesis of love. It will turn you into a summer whore. It's train yourself to become a winter whore. Have a woman that can ride out hardship, you know. There was a time when people in relationships, when things started to get a little rocky and things started to get a little broken, whatever, they would fix it, mend it, rather than throw it away. Feminism does, it teaches women to just throw it away. It trains them to be summer whores. One thing about being a summer whore and the ideology known as feminism, it tricks these women into wasting the best years of their life pursuing school and career. Looking for a job in the city, working for the man night and day, but I never lost a minute of sleep. Worrying about the way things might have been. They will keep on turning, pride, maybe keep on burning. Rolling, 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 rolling. rolling on a river, rolling on a river, rolling, 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 rolling on a river. All right, welcome to the show, baby. Big Daddy Show, greatest fucking show on YouTube. Yeah, hopefully that song played. It didn't come through on my end. But yeah, I tried playing Man Who Sold the World. Hopefully it came through. All right. Welcome to the show, y'all. Howdy, love bugs. They done tried to revenge porn me, love bugs. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later on. Audio sounds good. All right, good. Yeah, I was worried the song didn't come through. Yeah, we'll be talking about a little bit of that later on. Yeah. We got Mandy in the back room, actually. Mandy, why don't you give us the rundown? What's the deal with all this shit, exactly? Tell me exactly what's going on, Mandy, in your own words.
They done tried to revenge porn me, love bugs. The mean old DA talks and the Kiwi farmers went and dug up my nudes from back when I was a young whore. It just isn't fair, love bugs. Commence the jiggling, partner. Yeehaw! Yeehaw!
Yeah. Mandy Summers of Comicsgate. She got exposed as being a straight queen. That bitch for the streets. Yeah, we'll be talking about that a little later on. Oh, yeah. Rolling on a river. All right, good thing came in. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have a little talk about that later on, about the importance of not being a thought, about not having your nudes floating around out there, because they can come back to haunt you sometime, even if it's years later. Let's put it that way. We got a full house tonight. Bunch of people in the chat. Colonel Morg, Gay Talks, Vickyverse, Go to Jail Horny. Booyah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be one of those nights, baby. Fuck yeah, it's going to be one of those fucking nights. I don't know. Tell me, Sheila, what do you think?
Daddy, 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 can't you see? Somehow your words just hypnotize me. But I just love your manly ways. That's why I'm so wet between my legs.
Yeah, Big Daddy Show. We got all the thoughts. We got all the top thoughts here. Oh, yeah. Brittany Venti may even show up. Lola Meets, Chrissy Mayer, Anna, that Star Wars girl. You never know who might show up. You never fucking know. Yep. Yeah, we'll get all to that a little later on. First of all, we like to start off the show with a little weekend update. Talk about what's been going on in the world. Yeah, apparently, anybody hear about this story with the FBI? They just released this little list of words that they deem extreme, that they're going to start following people if they start using these words on the internet. Words like based, Chad, red pill, Stacy, incel, etc., etc. There's all sorts of words that if you use those words, you're going to be considered an extremist. Right-wing extremism. If you know what I mean. Extremists. Yeah, they're all about that right-wing extremism. Right-wing extremism is on the rise. It's on the rise. Right-wing extremism. It's like, what about the clear and present danger that is left-wing extremism, the leftist supremacist movement? People in these fucking alphabet agencies making these fucking rules. I don't know if anybody ever heard, but the January 6th shit came out. Turns out the Proud Boys, fucking 9 out of 10 of them were actually FBI agents. Yeah. Extremism. What about the left-wing extremists? Who protects us from them? Speaking of left-wing extremism, yeah, these troons, they're getting out of control. Yeah, have you seen the Troon shooter stats? I mean, these people are like a fraction of a percentage of the population, but the last like 5 or 6 mass shootings have all been like fucking either Troon related or non-binary related, or they were alphabet people. They were fucking alphabet people. Said this before. Part of this whole trans wokeness psyop is to groom an entire generation of psychopaths, sociopaths, and fucking serial killers. That's what they're trying to do. The ones that don't end up yeeting themselves will end up trying to yeet a whole fucking shitload of people. That's what's going to happen. For real. Yeah, this fucking shit, it's all over the place. Yeah, Bud Light, they're having a fucking huge fallout over putting that fucking Troon as their spokesperson, Dylan Mulvaney. I heard they lost like $5 billion or something like that. $5 billion. Shit, Star Wars was sold for like what, 4 billion? Like that fucking Troon lost more money for Bud Light than the entire franchise of Star Wars was worth. Fuck. Yeah, Mr. Beast. Have you heard about the Mr. Beast scandal? Yeah, there's this YouTuber called Mr. Beast. And I guess this motherfucker's got millions of subs, like over 100 million subs. And I've never even heard of this motherfucker, to be honest. I thought this motherfucker couldn't be too important. I've never even fucking heard of him. Yeah, it turns out almost everybody I know hasn't heard about this motherfucker. They don't even know who this fucker is. But somehow he's very, very famous and popular. It turns out he's very, very famous and popular with one demographic of people. Zoomers, Gen Z, those the alphabet folks, the generation that's over 20% of them are alphabet people. I guess he's real popular with those types. Yeah, Mr. Beast, he's being pushed in algorithms for the young folks, I guess. This is fucking soy, like beardly soy, like he's basically the fucking typical bearded soy boy. Like if he had on a pair of glasses and a fucking coffee mug up in front of his face, he would look like your atypical Twitter leftist. That's what the fucking guy would look like. Like, what is this guy about? What makes him popular? It don't make no fucking sense. Something doesn't seem right, though. That nobody I know of has ever heard of this fucking guy, but he's this fucking popular. It's because he's being pushed to the younger generation. But anyway, one of the characters on this Mr. Beast show, a character by the name of Chris. I guess this Chris character has just came out as trans. Yes, he's trooned out. And he's been doing it like the whole time on this Mr. Beast show. And this guy, he's really popular with kids. I guess he was on a Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards show or something like that. Like, what the fuck is going on here? There's something going on. Something doesn't smell right. I don't need to see shit to smell it. Something doesn't fucking smell right. And then when you grab the loose thread and you start pulling it, it turns out that this Mr. Beast fellow and all of his crew, they're all part of this group called Night Media. And when you really start pulling the threads, it turns out the people that own Night Media are the ones you cannot mention. You know the ones. You know the ones. I'm telling you, this trans wokeness psyop, it's being manufactured and it's being pushed. And it's all coming from one fucking place. One fucking place. Yes. But how do you deal with this fucking shit? How do you deal with it? You got to tackle it on the state level, I guess. Yeah, I guess in Washington, they passed a fucking law allowing the state to take away kids from their parents if their parents don't allow their child to troon out. Yep, state come in there, take the kids away. Little Johnny comes home from school, starts calling himself Jane. Like, oh, hell no. Fuck that shit. And then the kid goes and tells a social worker, and next thing you know, fucking kids being taken away from the parents. Yep. But then conversely, in the state of Florida, I guess they're getting ready to pass the death penalty for child rapists. Yeah, they're not making that state very friendly to the trans community. Oh, hell no. Alphabet people, you're not fucking welcome here. Yeah, I guess you just got to fight it on the state level. Yeah, have you heard about these troons that are getting put in women's prisons? I guess you got to understand the nature of criminals. They got the criminal mindset. They'll figure out a way to game the system. And I guess the hardcore criminals, the fucking hardcore ones, have figured out a way to game the system. Like the rapists, the killers, those ones. And what they're doing is they're identifying as women, and they're getting put in women's prisons, and then they just get to chill out in women's prisons and have sex with women all day. And if the women raise a stink about it or say anything about it, then the women are the ones who are chastised and told to shut up and put in their place. They're just given condoms and birth control pills and told to cope. Yep. This is a fucking real thing. Troons being put in women's prison. The most hardcore fucking killers and rapists, too. Yeah, it turns out the UN has recently come out and made a statement that they want to decriminalize not only drugs, but pedophilia as well. Yeah, they say if a child consents to the act, then it shouldn't be prosecuted or whatever, as long as the child consents. Well, that sounds a lot like laws passed in the state of California here recently. Yeah. It's like, what can you do? I guess you got to fight it just on the state level. The way Florida is doing it, passing a death penalty for these fuckers if they get caught doing this shit. Yeah, and these trans people, they acting like they're the fucking victims too. They're the ones targeting the children. They're the ones engaging in these mass shootings and shit. Like, when has anybody gone out and killed a bunch of transvestites? Fucking name one fucking instance. And they're trying to talk about some sort of trans genocide going on. There's a trans genocide going on, Big Daddy. Don't you know? Where? Where is the trans genocide? And you just watch 50, 75, 100 years from now. It's going to be taught in the history books about the great trans genocide that happened where 6 million trans people were killed. And you're like, wait a minute, there wasn't even 6 million trans people alive at the time. This doesn't even make sense. And to even question it, you'll be called a bigot and a white supremacist and a phobe or whatever the fuck they want to say. They will shame you out of calling out their fucking bullshit. That's what they'll do. Yep. Most of this shit, this trans wokeness psyop, it's all coming from one fucking place, too. You can't speak about it, though. You can talk about the history of Weimar Germany, though. The shit that they fucking won't teach in school. I'll talk about it. Yeah, Weimar Germany. There's a reason why they don't fucking teach you about Weimar and Germany in history. Nope. It's because we're fucking living in it. It's because we're fucking living in it. I could tell you about Weimar Germany, but sometimes things are best learned through visual.
The hyperinflation of Germany attracted the international community to Berlin, which became the sexual tourist capital of Europe, unrivaled by any city before or since. Since the Weimar Constitution eliminated almost all forms of censorship, Berlin was a hotbed for sexuality and homosexual culture, earning the title as the world's most immoral city. On any given evening, over 600 establishments such as massage parlors, sex clubs, cabarets, and private torture dungeons promise unique sights and pleasures. Most of the nightclubs and vice resorts were owned and managed by Jews. Research into sexuality was led by Jewish sexologists Ivan Bloch and Magnus Hirschfeld. They promoted pornography and sex over traditional institutes of marriage and family. They also performed primitive sex change operations, removing male genitals and fashioned vaginas for the transgender community. Theaters were used around the city to exhibit female stripteasing, which would turn into scenes of public masturbation. Male prostitution, homosexual bars, and nightclubs were populated by gay men, lesbians, and transsexuals in wild, incomparable subcultures. A group of 14-year-old refugee girls from communist Russia made a lucrative living in Berlin as prostitutes. Little girls were freely available for sex at child brothels. Mother and daughter teams offered their services to the same clients simultaneously. In the peak of hyperinflation, the most exquisite blowjob in Berlin never costed an American tourist more than 30 cents. To the conservative Germans, Berlin was looked upon with disdain, further humiliating their nationalistic spirit. Germany used to have a first-class army. Now they had first-class perversion.
Don't you see now? Non-binaries, furries, trans, the military is a fucking joke now. We have become Weimar Germany. All this trans bullshit. Yeah, you know it. Fucking know it deep down. The only question is, will some sort of mustache man rise up? Not the way the thing, they've got power so locked down now. Like, let's just say some miracle happens and Trump runs and he gets the nomination. All they're going to do is just fucking put their jack boots on his fucking throat again, just like they did last time. He don't got no fucking chance. Maybe they got a chance in 2028 if they reform shit on the ground level. That way it's actually fair. Then DeSantis runs, then maybe we got a chance. Yeah, you look at this simp culture, thought culture, all these stupid bitches with their OnlyFans, selling their nudes all over the place, selling their nudes on Reddit. Yeah, it's just lowbrow prostitution. That's all that is. The only difference between them, well, the whore, they actually come out and just admit what they are, unlike these fucking bitches. Yep, thought and simp culture. It's poison for society, is what it is. Yeah, it really is poison for society. But you look at other societies across the globe, it's not just America. Even the people that you think are supposedly holy and pious and good, like the Dalai Lama, for instance. You know, the Dalai Lama just got involved in a sex scandal here recently with a young child. Yep. He got caught on camera with a young child, like asking the young child to suck on his tongue. Some real fucking cringe, like real pedo vibes. Jesus fucking Christ. What is it with these fucking world spiritual leaders and sexual scandals? Like they think they can get away with it just because they got that cloak of being a spiritual leader or something. Like that John of God guy, and it turns out he was a sex trafficker and shit like that. It goes down the list. Yep. Have you heard about the Restrict Act? The shit they're getting ready to pass over here in America? Supposedly it's like Patriot Act 2.0, aka the TikTok bill. That's what some people call it, even though the words TikTok have never even been mentioned in the fucking bill at all. But here recently, these fuckers just threw a guy in jail for 10 years for a fucking meme. A fucking meme. And they haven't even passed this shit yet. Yeah, I guess they can throw you in jail for up to 20 years. And then they could fine you up to $1 million. Yeah, there's going to be no more VPNs, none of that shit. Yeah, it's going to be bad. You say something they don't like. You call yourself a based red pill Chad. Like, oh my God, this guy's a fucking extremist. We got to take him down. Send in the Reaper drones. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. Few people understand it or realize it, but the quote-unquote war on terror pretty much ended when we pulled out of Afghanistan and when they decided to turn the guns inward on the people and target right-wing extremists, even though it's basically non-existent. It's only manufactured by the alphabet agencies and shit. The true extremism is on the side of the left. Yeah. Yeah. Who protects us from the leftist supremacists? That's the question. It's people like Big Daddy, the only ones. The only way I can protect is just simply by calling out their fucking shenanigans, speaking truth to wokeness. Big Daddy is one of the few, the proud, that's actually called these people out by who and what they are. The leftist supremacists. That's what they are. Yeah, the same guy that got thrown in jail for 10 years for a meme, there was a leftist that made the same exact meme, saying, if you want to vote for Trump, text this number or whatever, because that's what the guy got thrown in jail for. He made a meme saying, skip the lines and vote for Hillary by texting this number, and it showed a black woman on there, and it was making fun of the stupidity of black people, I guess, basically. Like, you have to be really, really fucking stupid to just text this random number for your phone and think that you're going to be voting for somebody. Like, that's your own fucking fault. If you're that fucking stupid, you don't deserve to vote. You don't need to be voting because you're too stupid. I've said this before about voting. Like, it's not that I think we should repeal the 19th. I think most people shouldn't be allowed to vote. I think you should have to pass a test. Yeah, kind of like before you get behind the wheel of driving a car, how you have to have a driver's license. You got to pass a test to get that driver's license. You ought to have a voting license. In order to get that voting license, you got to pass a test. Make sure you're fucking intelligent enough and you're responsible enough to vote. A lot of people, they're not intelligent enough and they're not responsible enough to vote. That's reality. Let me get a drink of coffee here. Got some cotton mouth going on. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're enacting gingercide. Race swapping all the gingers. Talking about a trans genocide too. Sit there with a straight face, tell you there's a trans genocide going on. Like, there's no trans genocide going on, you lying piece of shit. What are you, anti-transvestite? Yep. But you know it starts when you're always shamed. They always try to shame you. Use those tactics, the shame tactics. Can't shame me. No. I'm shameless. I will call out your wokeness. Yep. Yeah, society's gotten a lot weaker. I know that. Not just weaker spiritually and mentally, but physically as well. And I noticed the beginning of when this happened was it was when Michelle Obama took over the school lunch program, and she decided to get rid of the pure meat chicken nuggets and substitute them with soy. Anyway, she completely changed the school lunch program, got rid of all the good meats, and replaced it with soy. And what it did was it created a generation of soy boys, is what it did. You see your average Gen Zers, they just got skinny noodle arms. They're just like no muscle mass at all. Soy boys. Yeah, and you see the high food prices nowadays with the goddamned inflation. It's like, how can a person like eat right? You know, go out and get good meats and eggs and shit, and like bulk up and stay big and healthy. And it seems like this is where they fucked up. It's like the government doesn't understand. Like, if you want your people to be as big and strong and as healthy as possible, you have to enable it to where they got the best foods possible. And if you take away the good foods when they're children, you're going to stunt their fucking growth. And what you're doing is it's bad for the fucking country, is what it is. And these politicians don't give a shit. They just don't fucking give a shit. If their people become weak, they become fucking soy boys. They just don't care. You see, men's testosterone count is it's dropped so significantly from the past 20 years. Soy is a big part of it. That coupled with all the microplastics and shit. And there's also studies done that just simply by holding a gun in your hand, it raises your testosterone levels. Nobody likes guns anymore. Guns are bad. Yeah, what they're trying to do is clip America's nuts and turn us into one of these other cuck countries. They want to turn us into Australia and the United Kingdom and fucking Canada. That's what they want to turn us into. One of those fucking countries. As bad as it is, it could be fucking worse. Could be 1,000 times worse. We could be Australia. Or we could be the United Kingdom. Or we could be fucking Canada. Now, I'll give it time. Once they install Gavin Newsom into power, I mean, he's basically the American version of Justin Trudeau. And he's going to turn America into Canada, basically. And Canada is just a shittier version of California. Yep. Long black road. Long black road. Long black road. Yeah. Getting close to halftime. Maybe we'll take a little break, come back, and talk a little Comicsgate shit. Talk about thoughts. Mandy Summers being exposed as an e-thought. Yeah, Sheila, she got exposed recently too here. Both Sheila and Mandy both got exposed as thoughts. Yeah, you don't see the traditional housewives too much anymore, unless their husbands are cucks. Yep. I don't know, Sheila. What do you think? What do you think about all this, Sheila?
Daddy, 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 can't you see? Somehow your words just hypnotize me. But I just love your manly ways. That's why I'm so wet between my legs.
Yeah, you know why God gave women legs, right? So they wouldn't leave around snail trails. It's kind of hard out here for a pimp.
Some people said Ethan's behaving in an unprofessional manner, to which I say, a professional is someone who does work to get money. I am somebody who does no work and gets money, which makes me something more like a pimp.
You can't class up them whores, Sheila. Once they belong to the street, they belong to the street. You ain't gonna. This ain't pretty fucking woman. You know what I mean? They're whores.
Commence the jiggling, partner. Yeah.
Life. It's the only life I know. Street life. Yeah, you know I'm on parole. Street life. You were just a slave to the game. Street life. Yeah, you know it's not the same. Street life. Working hours without rest. Street life. Yeah, you know I passed the test. Street life. Street life. Oh, street life. Diamond in the back, sunny rooftop. Swing me down, sweet and cherry stop. Digging in the scene with the gangster lane. And let me ride. Street life. You can run away from time. Street life. Or a nickel or a dime. Street life. Girl, you better not get old. Street life. Or you'll wind up in the cold. Street life. Strapped up while I roll. Street life. Yeah, you know I'm on parole. Street life. Oh, street life. Street life. Diamond in the back, sunny rooftop. Swing it down, sweet and cherry stop. Digging on the scene with the gangster lean. And let me ride. Street life. Because there is no place to go. Street life. It's the only life I know. Street life. There's so many cards to play. Street life. Just don't play your life away. Street life. Oh, street life. Street life. Diamond in the back, sunny rooftop. Swing it down, sweet and cherry stop. hearts to play street life. Just don't play your life away. Street life. Oh, street life. Street life. Oh, street life. Diamond in the back, sunny rooftop, swinging down, sweet and cherry stop, digging on the scene with the gangster lean, and let me ride, let me ride, let me ride, street life, oh, street life, street life, oh, street life, street life. Street life. Ooh, street life. Street life. Ooh, street life. Ooh, street life.
That bitch before the streets, my friend. Yep. Street life. Aw, shit. Let me pour some tea real quick. Then we'll talk a little Comicsgate. Wind her on down. For the ones that are left watching. Oh, yeah. Get some tea ready. Oh, yeah. Street life. It's the only life I know. All right. Let's get nestled in here. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Ooh, that tea is hotter than I thought it was. Yeah. Mandy Summers got exposed for her thottery. Yeah, who didn't see that one coming? A woman who shakes her tits for money. Turns out had nudes floating around out there. Who would have thought? Yep. Yeah, that bitch has got one where she's full on showing her fucking cornhole too. Fucking cornhole pick. And yes, she's got a tramp stamp. Bitch has got a tramp stamp. Anytime the bitch has a tramp stamp, you know that bitch is for the streets. Yeah, all sorts of, I guess she's got a bunch of videos out there too. Yeah. Between all of this Mandy Summers pornography that's being released, and Anna with her, butt floss vampy outfit, the only question is, who will be the first recorded man to die of furious masturbation? Mikey Woods or Dale Keown? This is the question. Yep. Lottery. He who has perversed his ways shall be known. This is in the Bible. Yeah, let this be a lesson to anybody out there. If you've ever taken photos of yourself and your face is seen, and those photos have gone on the internet anywhere, you can be found. There's software out there now. People can take your picture and then run it, and the fucking software will ping and find out whether or not you've posted those fucking pictures of various sites and whatnot. Even if you're a cam whore back in your teen days, they'll fucking find that shit. Yep. Yeah, Mandy Summers. Anybody who doesn't know who Mandy Summers is, I'll give you a brief primer on her. Wilbur! No, but anyway, she's one of the CG kings. Comicsgate. That's what CG stands for. It's a section of the independent comic book underground. It sprung up as a knee-jerk reaction to the mainstream comic industry getting woke, coming after a lot of the beloved characters, turning Captain America into a Nazi, turned Thor into a cancer-stricken teenage girl, turned Iron Man into an autistic little black girl, turned the Hulk into a smiling little Asian kid. Basically, they took all of the characters that were already established and loved, and they twisted them, perverted them, and bastardized them, rather than just simply creating new original characters, because they are creatively bankrupt. That is the way the left is. They can't create anything. All they can do is destroy. But anyway, Comicsgate sprung up because of this as a knee-jerk reaction. And nowadays, it mostly consists of ex-industry professionals and their hanger-ons. And basically, that's how Mandy Summers started, as a hanger-on to the ex-industry professionals. Well, she originally wormed her way in through Ethan Van Sciver's colorist, Kyle Ritter. Yeah, Kyle Ritter, he's this deaf, dumb dude. He can't speak, he can't talk or whatever. But I guess he's a gifted colorist. Anyway, Mandy Summers snaked her way into Comicsgate using this guy, teasing him with some nudes here and there, some lewds there, and then Kyle Ritter full blown gave her like a fucking triple X-rated shit of him sticking his vape pen up his ass and shit like that. And so Kyle Ritter was all worried that Mandy was going to use that against him somehow. Yeah, it was a whole brouhaha over it. Wilbur! But yeah, rumor has it Mandy Summers paid off Peter Gilmore with nothing but dirty panties. That's what word on the street is. I heard it from Midnight Cherry. So you know it must be true. Yeah. Thoughts? Yeah, somehow this thought, Mandy Summers, is somehow weaseled her way in, and she made over $250,000 off of these simps in Comicsgate. Basically taking old IPs from hack motherfuckers like Clint Helinski. She was probably they probably met each other in the Reddit threads, I bet. But yeah, she hooked up with this guy, Clint Helinski, total hack, known tracer. He had these series called Pirate Queen and Slave Girl and shit like that. And Mandy kind of like parasitically attached herself to it. I'm making stories for it, Lovebug. Original stories. I'm like, no, you're not, you lying cunt. Anyway, she finally decided to do an original IP called Gem Shock. But it turns out it was just all ripping off some other fucking comic called Jailbait. So now she has to go back in there and recolor the whole fucking thing. Funny part is, when she recolors it, she's going to recolor it green. So it's going to look like Witchblade is what it's going to do. So it's going to look like a Witchblade ripoff. We'll see how that goes. I said they should have colored it blue or red. But that's what Big Papa Bear Ethan said. He said color it green. So we're going to color it green. Lovebug. Yeah, that's how these comic skaters are. They don't really have much original thoughts. Yeah, the character would have looked way better with a light fucking turquoise blue. Or red like my jacket. Better yet, paint it red. No, it's too late though. They're gonna paint it green. It's gonna look like the Witchblade character, and then they might really have a lawsuit on their hands. Boy, wouldn't that be funny? But yeah, Mandy Summers got exposed as an e-thought. Yeah, what happened was DA Talks. He took that whore's face and ran it through fucking software, and like ping, ping, ping. Turns out, yep, she's an e-thought. Turns out she was spreading these fucking pictures around on Reddit originally. Reddit! Fucking Reddit of all places. You imagine like the big old sweaty doofus cucks on Reddit that were fucking beating off to that shit. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, you posting porn on Reddit, you deserve everything you get, bitch. Have you heard about these Reddit cucks here recently that paid for nudes from AI? I guess somebody catfished some of these fucking Reddit cucks using AI porn. And the way he was busted is one of these Reddit cucks told him, send me pictures of your hands. I need to see your hands. Because one thing the AI can't get right is hands. They always give fucking pictures 6 fingers for some reason. So the guy had to come clean. Like, all right, it's AI, but he already made a few $100 off of them. Yeah, it just goes to show the nature of Reddit simps. But yeah, these Reddit simps were telling her, like, hey, send me more. And like, she was actually conversing with them behind the scenes, sending them fucking lewds and shit like that. Yeah, there's a butthole pic floating around. She showed her cornhole. That bitch has got a tramp stamp. Yep. Yeah, without the makeup and the filters on, it's like, Jesus Christ, that face. Boy. Wilbur, if you know what I mean. Jesus, there's a reason why she uses filters. Yep. There's a reason why women wear makeup. If she was to go out in public without no makeup on, like somebody would try to throw a fucking saddle on her. No fucking joke. Yeah, Mandy Summers got exposed as a thought and a half. Nudes floating around just like Sheila Allen. Yeah, thoughts and CG go together like peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, the funny part is, just like it is with the CG kings and the hierarchy of that whole thing, silent as a mouse on the set. Nobody want to come out and address the elephant in the room, even though the chat was talking about it. Mandy brought it upon herself because I guess what she did was she blew up her fucking channel. I don't know if she nuked it or she just got rid of all of her videos or whatever. She hasn't tweeted in almost a week. Like, she's gone to ground, as the saying goes. She's going completely to ground, mate. Yeah, she's hiding. Lord only knows what else is going to come out of there. Yeah, and when she was advertising herself on all this fucking shit, she was calling herself a hot wife. Hot wife Mandy. That was her name. Hot wife Mandy. Now, anybody who doesn't know what the term hot wife means, it's slang for a cuckoldress. She was a cuckoldress. It's like a female cuckold. Yeah. It means her husband is sitting in the corner fucking beating off while she's getting railed by Tyrone. That's what that means. Yep, she's a cuckoldress. It means her husband is a cuck. Yeah, I'm telling you, behind all of these quote-unquote happy marriages, the husband more often than not is getting cucked. And that's the only reason the marriage hasn't blown up. Yeah, what a fucking joke. Comic skaters. These real based, red-pilled Christian conservatives. Yeah, simping for the most lowest quality of ethos. The most lowest of quality ethos. It's kind of hard out here for a simp. Yeah, that bitch took these motherfuckers for over $250,000 throughout the course of this fucking shit. All of those fucking stupid campaigns she ran over those fucking trash comics. And the only reason those simps bought those fucking comics was because she was jiggling her fucking titties around too. Come Mr. Jiggling, partner, yeehaw! Yep. That bitch before the streets. Yep. For the streets. Mandy, you hear me? You for the streets, bitch. What do you got to say for yourself?
They done tried to revenge porn me, love bugs. The mean old DA talks and the Kiwi farmers went and dug up my nudes from back when I was a young whore. It just isn't fair, love bugs. Commence the jiggling, partner. Yeehaw! Yeehaw!
That bitch before the streets. Yep. Speaking of being for the streets, it looks like Lola Meats is also in the back room. Lola, do you want to pop on here and try to defend your good friend Mandy?
Kaki, Chibabakobo, Kaki Bayatoram Toram, Pakisa, Ikopotobi, Keponanabinkes Maktoma, Kaki Chibamakao, Ibayatoram Toram, Pakisa, Ikotobobi, Keponanabikes Maktoma.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lola. I can't speak Hut Slug. I have no idea what the fuck you said. Let me go ahead and install the Hut Slug plugin. And all right, there we go. The Hut Slug translator plugin is installed. Lola, go ahead and say what you were going to say again.
Kaki chibabakobo. Kaki bayatoram toram. Pakisa, pakisa. Ikopotobi. Keponanabinkes maktoma. Kaki chibamakawo. Ibayatoram toram. Pakisa, pakisa. Ikotobobi. Keponanabikes maktoma.
Jesus Christ. Lola. Lola, Lola, Lola. Yep. That's Tug's old lady. Old Tugger Nuts. Justice for Johnny. Did Johnny ever get justice? I don't know. Who knows? I think he did. He got a fucking killer deal with the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, they put him back on. $300 million deal. I call that justice. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat right here. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Cuckgate. Risey says, Midnight Cherry has been jacking it to Mandy for years. Cuckoldsgate. Yeah, that bitch is shook. She got buck broken. Buck broken. Do we know if Mandy, even being in CG in the first place, was a deep cuck state op or possibly some kind of controlled thought position thing? It is possible. Yeah, she saw her career as being a Reddit thought wasn't going to pan out. There's a chance Clint Helinski might have been one of those Reddit cucks, and that's how she got hooked up with him. Yeah, I'm telling you, that bitch has never read a fucking comic in her life. I'm trying to figure out how she actually got hooked up into Comicsgate. That's the fucking loose thread right there. I bet it all came from Clint Helinski in the fucking Reddit threads. Well, it matters to her husband. It gives me good content too. Yeah, Hutties is quite hard to understand. Good thing I got the Hut Slug plugin. Oh yeah, that's right. Her fucking mugshot got released too. Turns out she's a fucking meth head. Supposedly. Yeah, well, I don't know if it was a drug charge, an unspecified charge, but I'm guessing it was meth. Bitch looks like a meth head. I could be wrong. Maybe it actually said she was arrested for meth too. DA Talk says, I don't care that she's a slut, but she constantly slut shames and lies about not being a slut while also blackmailing dudes she gets dick pics from. Now, is that Sheila or Lola or Mandy? That's bad when you could be talking about something like that and be basically talking about several women within Comicsgate. Yeah, I bet Mandy caught something when she was cucking around, sleeping with all those black dudes, while her husband pleasured himself in the corner. Her husband was also arrested for the same charge at the same time. Yeah, it'd be funny if she was sucking off some black guy in a fucking alley somewhere while her husband was filming it. We live, we love, and we laugh. Some of us love a little more than others, though. Maybe, just maybe, it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate. Controlled substance plus paraphernalia, so something you smoke or shoot up. Yeah, if I were a betting man, I would say it was meth. Yeah, they come from that part of the country where it's rampant. Yeah, if she's not careful, she's gonna take some of that meth laced with the fucking fentanyl. That shit's fucking bad. It was a Class C felony drug. Dean is a well-known slut, but he looks good. Yeah, at least when Dean's lewds came out, he fucking just owned up to it. Had Mandy just come out and just owned it, I'm telling you, fucking, she don't get it. Well, maybe she does, but she's just embarrassed. But her and Sheila both, like Comicsgate, it's full of degenerates and simps and coomers. Like if it is revealed that you have nudes floating around out there, all that's going to do is raise your profile within the movement. That's all that's going to do. Hell, we saw what happened with the boy Zach Cuck porn. All that did was raise his profile, even though his girlfriend was on camera slurping cum under his orders. I mean, it was some real degenerate cuck shit. Yeah, this is the nature of Comicsgate. This is a blue-pilled fucking community. These are blue-pilled male feminists. They don't fucking care about that shit. It'll raise your profile within the movement with these fucking people. Yeah. But she's shamed. I'm shamed. I guess she's shamed. I guess that's why. Unless there's like some more fucking real bad shit that's yet to come out. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this is just the tip of the iceberg. We haven't seen nothing yet. Oh, yeah. That's some good tea right there. I think they were smoking pills, crushing that shit up. Oxys. You can smoke oxys? Yeah, Risey's still fucking wearing out those fucking lewds. Dean is a screensaver. Yep. Bunch of street queens out there. Yeah, the only question is, does the husband know whether or not the kid's really his? I'd get a fucking paternity test if I was him. Unless he just doesn't care. A lot of men don't. Yeah, a lot of men don't know it, but they get cucked out behind the fucking scenes. They don't know it, but they end up raising a bastard. Yeah, I've seen it happen many times. Women are treacherous that way. Throw on the makeup, completely change their appearance like a chameleon. Go out there with some fucking ex-boyfriend, get pumped, and then go to the husband the same night, or a couple nights later, or whatever, or a week later, once she finds out she's pregnant. Then she goes and has the husband cream pie her. Like, oh, look, I'm pregnant, honey. It was from that time. And fucking old boy ends up raising a bastard unbeknownst to him. It happens more often than one would think. Yeah, but a lot of people out there in Comicsgate are raising bastards. Ethan Van Sciver himself might have raised a bastard. Old Hunter himself might have been a bastard. Yeah, he was the proto-cuck, I guess. Yeah, the first one. Yeah, his wife, Bunny, left him for the skydive instructor, who ironically enough died while skydiving. But yeah, if she was cucking him while married, there's a good chance Hunter might be another man's child. You never know. If I was Ethan, I'd get a fucking DNA test. I know that. I wonder if that would change his relationship if he decided to get a DNA test with Hunter and it turns out Hunter was actually a bastard fathered by another man. I wonder if he would disown Hunter or if he would just, oh, I love him. He's my son. I raised him. It means nothing. No, it would have to sting deep down. Deep down, it would have to sting. Just like how deep down it would have to sting for a father to find out that he's got a trans son or a gay son or something like that. Yeah, they can lie and say, "Oh, I love my trans son. I love my gay son." But it fucking hurts. I guarantee you it hurts. Yeah, I remember I was growing pot plants, and fucking I had this one plant, biggest, most nicest looking plant. I couldn't wait till it started budding out. But then it got to the point where it turned and it started showing fucking little bulbs on it, which meant it was a male. And all the males you have to pull, or else they'll create pollen. The male plants are basically hemp. You don't want the hemp. And boy, I was so fucking disappointed and heartbroken. And that was just to find out that one of my plants wasn't the correct gender that I wanted it to be. I can just imagine how it would be to find out it was your fucking living flesh and blood pulled some fucking shit like that. Say that they're a fucking troon, or that they're a fucking alphabet person, or they're non-binary or something. My God. Yeah, this is why I say one of the cures to all this trans wokeness. I know it can never fly in this day and age, but in feudal Japan it could probably fly. But if you get, if it finds out that you're the parent of a trans kid, you have to commit harakiri. Yep. Ritual self-deletion, seppuku. If that fucking law was passed, I guarantee you, trans kids would disappear overnight, over fucking night. Because just how it is with vegan cats, we all know who's making the decisions there. Same thing with trans kids. We all know who's making the decisions there. Yeah, most of these troons end up fucking self-deleting themselves. Yeah, I guarantee if something like that happened, it would force parents to actually be parents, is what it would do. Most parents aren't fucking parents. They don't do no parenting. They allow the fucking state to raise their children. They allow the screen to raise their children. People like Mr. Beast and his fucking cohort, Chris. Those are the types of people that end up raising your kids. That's what fucking happens. Next thing you know, little Johnny starts calling himself Jane. You wonder what the fuck happened? You are a terrible fucking parent. That's what happened. Parents have failed their fucking children. Yeah, parents were more on the ball. This trans wokeness bullshit just simply wouldn't be a thing. Yep. Yeah, that's right. I was talking some CG shit. Mandy was a CG uptown gal, so it's a huge loss for the community. But sometimes the glue factory calls. And though Sheila is a CG slums kind of gal, she's still going strong. We still got her at least. Yeah. Sheila fucking, her nudes came out. Like, she had way more nudes come out than Mandy. Sheila's still chugging along. Little engine that could. Yep. Fucking Sheila, she didn't give a shit. Yeah, she's a proud whore. You heard of the Proud Boys? Sheila's a proud whore. She's a proud whore. Hey, Sheila, why don't you tell us about that time you were abducted by aliens?
I was once abducted by aliens, and they stuck a probe up my anus. And then they stuck a probe up my pussy hole. And then I grabbed the two probes with my hands, and I shook them vigorously. I really, really liked it.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. Yep. See, Sheila Allen, that bitch beat over the streets too. Just like Mandy. Just like Lola. Just like Chrissy Mayer. Brittany Venti. Anna. Yeah. E-whores and CG go together like peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, what else has been going on out there? in the realm of CG, besides all of the e-thoughterry. A lot of e-thoughterry going on. Uh-oh, speak of the devil and she shall appear. I think Brittany Venti heard me talking about her. Looks like she's in the back room. Brittany Venti, welcome to the show. You got anything to say for yourself in defense of your fellow thoughts? Now, was that Brittany Venti or was that a gorilla with a wig? I really can't tell the difference. I really can't. Yeah. What's been going on with Nasser? I ain't heard from that motherfucker in forever. Is he still out there? Did the jab get him? Did Brutus 2 ever fucking get it to the hands of the backers? So who am I talking about? What am I talking about? Brutus 1 never even made it all to the backers, did it? Yeah, Nasser. Boy, that's a tale of the inverse prodigal son. The tale of Nasser coming back to CG with his tail tucked between his legs, trying to glom on to CG for clout. And then what happened? He released several shitty books and nobody remembers. I think Vic King was the artist on one of those terrible books. And then Donald DeLay, he teamed up with that treacherous cuck Donald DeLay. And what did Donald do? Did he leave him high and dry to go do Sierra Whiskey's book about that John Malin fan fiction bullshit? Is that what Donald's working on instead of Brutus 2? Yeah, whatever happened with Brutus 2, huh? Fucking Nasser. Sold his fucking soul to a cuck, thinking he was going to make as much money as the first Brutus. We're doing it for the fans, Big Daddy. For the fans. Like what fans? All the fans that got burned by Donald's bad business? You got no fans there. That's a dead franchise. Been better off to create a whole new character and all that shit. Yeah, I remember his campaigns were making decent money, then they just kind of flatlined, fell off the radar. And I know the exact moment when that happened, too. You remember? A lot of people don't remember the moment Nasser's triumphant return to CG was basically tombstoned. He got tombstoned. It was the Star-Lord comment. Remember that one? The Star-Lord comment? It was never the same after that. He never got the same promotion ever since the Star-Lord comment. He basically fucking got taken behind the woodshed. Yeah, anybody who doesn't remember the Star-Lord comment. I'm sorry, I called you Star-Lord. Yeah, but there was a moment where Marvel Comics decided to turn the Star-Lord into a fucking... I forget if he was a non-binary, if he was bisexual, or if he was a full-on homo. But they decided to just turn him into an alphabet person of some sort. And it was kind of a big thing that people were talking about for a while. So whenever the name Star-Lord came up, it became automatically associated with homosexuality. So then Nasser came out and he did a thumbnail for a video saying that Ethan Van Sciver is a true Star-Lord. And at the same time, this controversy came out. So basically, like, Ethan took it as a grave offense to him that Nasser was like calling him a fucking bundle of sticks, basically. And he even came out on the forums and tried to do damage control, saying that Nasser was trolling him or whatever. Like, Nasser doesn't have the capacity to fucking troll you, you idiot. But yeah, he took real grave offense to the Star-Lord comment. It really fucking hit a nerve there. And ever since then, Nasser never got the same promotion. Ever since then. That was basically the moment he got tombstoned and his triumphant return to Comicsgate ended. One comment taken out of context. It's obvious he was just a fucking idiot, had no idea what he was doing. Trying to suck up and get clout is what he was trying to do. This is why you don't suck up to people and try to get clout. More often than not, it will fucking backfire on you. It's exactly what happened with Nasser. He tried to fucking get clout and it backfired on him. And like that, he's tombstoned. He's basically a non-entity within the movement now. He's basically Dark Gift Comics level status.
That's what he is. All right. Let's see what's going on with the chat. Point of order. Lola is not from the streets. She was from Tug's stepmom's house. Oh, yeah, that's right. Didn't Tug groom her straight from high school, too? It was the gorilla carrying the tiki torch. Nasser's in cup training with his new coach, Mandy's husband. Yeah, Donald, he was Nasser's first cuck coach. He's like CG's cuck Yoda and provides basic training to all the youngling aspiring cucks. But now Nasser's a full-fledged cuck Padawan. He's got a new teacher. Yep. Von Scroats is an obsessive name searcher and micromanager. Yeah, he's got to get his hose in line. Yeah, when you look at it, the grand scheme of things, you look at these Comicsgate streams, they're like the streets, is what they are. And you take these thoughts like Sheila Allen and Mandy Summers and those of their ilk, and you go and put them on the streets. You put them on the streams. And for what reason? To attract the Johns, to attract the simps. For what reason? The Benny Skrilla Scratch, cheddar, cheese, stew, cheese to the game. Don't change. Yep. It's all about that paper. Yeah, there really is little to no difference between Ethan Van Sciver and a pimp. Putting those bitches on his streams, just same as a pimp putting those bitches on the streets, putting them to work. Yeah, for what purpose does a Sheila Allen serve to be on a stream other than just simply act as a fucking totem of worship for simps? So they go, oh my God, look at her, I love her. And then they start throwing money. Same thing with Mandy. All these worthless, talentless thoughts that should never be given a fucking an ounce of air, are instead propped up and their fucking egos inflated. Yep. Simp culture, thought culture. It's lowbrow prostitution is what it is. Lowbrow prostitution. At least whores actually fucking just come out and admit who and what they are. Yeah, I have more respect for a whore than I do an e-thought. E-thought's just a lowbrow whore. Yeah, Ethan, I saw him on a drawing stream here recently, doing the old traditional way with the pencil and paper and all that shit. Now, I talked before about Kyle Ritter, Ethan's colorist, the guy who was sticking his vape pen up his ass and all that shit. Like Kyle Ritter, without the Kyle Ritter colors, like that shit would not look the same. It simply wouldn't. But the real hero of all that shit is the guy who inks that shit, the inker. Because you take those fucking pencil scribbles and you ink that shit. Does anybody know if Ethan inks his own shit? Like, who is the inker for Cyberfrog? Does anybody know? Yeah, because Kyle Ritter, he's got to have something to work with. Is Kyle Ritter the inker? I don't know. Maybe Ethan inks his own shit. I don't know. All I've ever seen him do is pencil his own shit. But the bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, this motherfucker would save so much time if he decided to get with the program and go digital. Like, put that fucking pencil and paper away and get a digital fucking pad. Get himself like Clip Studio Paint and just do what real professionals do. It would expedite his workload like fucking tenfold. Instead of drawing each and every individual strand of hair for Heather Swain, you can just get a fucking brush and just do it all quick like. Instead of using whiteout to fix his mistakes, you just quickly erase it digitally. Yeah, once you upgrade from digital to pen and paper, things become 10 times easier. Then he can get his shit out there way quicker. Yeah, but he doesn't care about deadlines, though. As long as his audience doesn't hold him accountable. Although there's a lot of people shitting up his comments section and his various Indiegogo campaigns. Really, really pissed off. He's late as fuck, ripping them off and shit. So it's almost like he needs to constantly try to bring in new fans all the time with new, fresh drama and shit, rather than keep his fans a sustained fan base by having shit come out regularly on time. He's got to find new fans to take the places of all the ones that he's burnt. In order to do that, he's got to do the constant drama streams. Although he hasn't been streaming the past week or so, from what I hear. No, actually, he was streaming tonight, I think. Couldn't think of it. He needs to be fucking putting the fucking pencil to the paper and getting Rainbow Brood out there is what he needs to do. I said he should have outsourced that job to somebody else, and then he should have went immediately to Cyberfrog 3, because that's his big money franchise, the Cyberfrog. You don't want to fucking, you gotta strike while the iron's hot, while you still got some semblance of a fucking fan base left. I hear he's gonna release it on July 4th. That's coming up. He'd be about fucking 7 pages deep into Rainbow Brute, and he launches Cyberfrog 3. Jesus Christ, that won't come out till what, 2028? At least. What do you want to bet? Comes out in 2028 or 2029? What's the over-under? Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I'm looking for a new artist myself. Somebody capable of hitting deadlines more timely. Then I remembered all of those Chileans that came after Ethan of Spurging out. And I got to thinking, you know what? It seems like there's a lot of Spurgs over there in Chile. Maybe I'll find some sort of artist with that kind of Spurg energy. Anyway, I started looking for artists on the Fiverr, using the filters, looking in certain countries. And I went and looked just in the country of Chile. And shit. Like the artists in Chile right now are way cheaper than the artists in the Philippines right now. I heard that the fucking inflation was real bad there. It's like, yeah, it looks like there's a lot of good artists to choose from. You can get at least 5 more pages out of a fucking Chilean artist than you can out of a Filipino artist. So maybe I'll go that route. Bring a Chilean into the fold. I never would have thought about that if not for that the Pedro Pascal incident. A lot of Spurgs over there in Chile. Yeah, I hear the Quartering is going to start doing red pill commentary. You heard about that one? The Quartering. He got a divorce here recently, and I guess he's starting to get red pilled. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully he does a better job than Tim Pool. Old dim fool just fucking read the Cliff Notes version. Like, you got to read the fucking full book, Tim Pool. You look like a dim fool. Yeah, but this is the way these grifters are. They smell money and like that. They'll stick their blood funnels in there and start sucking it. Yeah, Tim Pool and the Quartering, they smell money there in that red pill community. They'll stick their blood funnels in there. Did you hear there was something wrong with the Heather Swain figures? I did see on the farms that he was going to have to reship them, or he's going to do a reorder or something. Yeah, I wonder what the deal was. He realized she looked a little too masculine. Like, Heather Swain looks trans. Like, I ordered Heather Swain action figures, not Dylan Mulvaney action figures, you stupid pieces of shit. Oh, Risey's e-fapping. Huh. Yeah, I'm about almost out of CG material. I hear they're going to remake Akira, that classic anime. The manga was actually way better. Akira manga in color. Fuck, if you've never read that, that's a fucking experience. It just blows away the fucking anime. But yeah, here they're gonna remake Akira, and they're gonna have a Kakika Fukwiti or no Takiki Matiti or Takika Watiti, the fucking dude. He's gonna be the one that directs it too, which means it's gonna be woke trash. Yeah, on Canada's fucking jacket, Canada. You know how it had the pill, the red pill on the back of his jacket? It's gonna be a blue pill now instead. Yep. I almost guarantee it's gonna be woke. It's gonna be trash, just like the Cowboy Bebop remake. God, it's gonna be a fucking shame too. Like I said, I fucking said they're gonna take everything you've ever loved, everything you've ever cared for, everything that was good and pure in this world, and like that, they're gonna fucking destroy it by poisoning it with wokeness. It's what they do. Just rest easy knowing that there still exists the Akira manga and the old Akira anime that one can still go and watch. No matter how trash the fucking Akira remake is, there's still the old versions one can enjoy. Yeah, I wonder how people like Risey and Liam Gray and other gingers feel about the ginger side that's taking place. All of the race swapping with all the gingers. And they're always race swapping them with black people, too. Like, you talk about radicalizing the gingers. Like, if you race swap every ginger character with a black person, all that's going to do is piss gingers off and turn them against black people. One would think. Like, Ginger's just going to roll over and submit, like, oh, yeah, I'm all about Black Lives Matter and BLM. Go ahead and replace all of the beloved Ginger characters from all of fiction. Go ahead. I'm perfectly fine with all of that. Ginger side. Yeah, they're being anti-gingite. That's what they're doing. They're being anti-gingite. Nobody's talking about anti-gingitism. Nope. Anti-gingitism is real. Make no mistake. Oh, the broken wrists. That was what was wrong with the Heather Swain dolls. What happens when you use that cheap Chinese plastic? You need to look into manufacturing in Mexico. Everybody needs to look at Mexico instead of China. Like back in the day, if we were to build up Mexico instead of China, shit, that would have been a way, way better alternative than what we did. Because China is an actual legit fucking military threat to us. If you built up Mexico, what would happen is you just turn Mexico into just America 2.0, and all of the Mexicans don't have to migrate to America. You know, they can just stay in Mexico. And all of the other people from Latin America that want to come to America can come up, and once they hit Mexico, they're like, you know what? It's not so bad here. Maybe I'll just stay in Mexico. So you turn Mexico into like a more healthier colon, so to speak. So only the best and brightest will fucking eventually filter into America, because most of them will think Mexico is good enough to stay. Yeah, Mexico's full-blown narco state now. Cartels running the show in a lot of areas. Yeah, cartel, it's not only Mexico, but they're taking over certain areas of California. Yeah, certain areas of Northern California have been completely taken over by the cartel, as well as various other neighborhoods and shit. Yeah, but I was watching this thing where the cartel, they basically went up into this area in Northern California, bought up all the land, and they put up these greenhouses where they're growing like fucking thousands of pounds of marijuana, and they're just flooding the marijuana fucking market, and then pot's like fucking cheap as fuck. And the cops, I guess, since they passed legalization in California, they do is pay a $500 fine. That's it. Like, you could literally grow thousands and thousands of pounds, and if a cop fucking catches you, it's a slap on the wrist and a $500 fine. So what the cartel has done is they've taken advantage of this shit. And they've gone in there and they've just completely put all the traditional homegrown mom and pop shops out of business is what they've done. And they're so dangerous, like there's fucking all sorts of fucking killings going on. Cops can't even go into their fucking area. Yeah, this is a real thing. Nothing's going to happen either. And once Gavin Newsom is installed into power, that same fucking shit he's going to implement all across the fucking country. Booyah. Yeah, motherfuckers like to cry about white supremacy this, white supremacy that. Extremism! Extremism. What about the left-wing extremists? Nope. Nobody talks about that shit. Yeah, the kids are being groomed. But it's not just children in grade schools that are being groomed to become alphabet people. Once they make it into the universities, it becomes like on fucking, it's like snorting meth off a fucking hooker's ass. You know what I mean? It just ramps up that fucking much. Yeah, a lot of people have no idea the level of poison that they're teaching the fucking in the universities. Like the level of leftist indoctrination that is going on in the universities, people have fucking no idea. They are completely radicalizing people in these universities. And most of the people going to these fucking universities are women. It's churning out these woke, white, liberal women and unleashing them upon society. And they're just fucking causing damage everywhere. Yeah, there's this real strong anti-white fucking undertone to it all, too. Kill Whitey! Kill Whitey! Blame the white man! White supremacy! Yeah, it's all coming from a certain area. It's all coming from one fucking spot. And it's being filtered into the fucking education system.
Texas A&M professor asks, when is it okay to kill whites? New York professor says having a white nuclear family promotes white supremacy. Professor tweets that white people should commit mass suicide. College professor says kill cops, kill all white people, and kill the straights. Professor says all I want for Christmas is white genocide. Georgetown professor says all white people are racist. Trinity College professor calls white people inhuman. Let them fucking die. College professor says believing in hard work is a white ideology. College professor says white people are conditioned to commit mass murder. A professor equates math with white privilege. A professor says white supremacist patriarchy is responsible for the Vegas shooting. Professors hold a white racism course at FGCU. USC professor called for Holocaust against all white people. Professor says I'll teach my children to be cautious and distrust friendship with white people. Baltimore professor says white people need to personally give all of their money to black people. College professor says some white people may have to die to solve racism. College professor says white masculinity is a problem for America. Georgetown professor says all white people are racist. Rutgers professor was taken to the NYC hospital for psychiatric evaluation after he tweeted threatening to kill white people. White professor calls all white people to mass suicide because of slavery. Here's a slide from a college classroom that says white tears on a mug. Here's another slide from a college classroom that says white people stay colonizing. White privilege does exist. Bigfoot, unicorns, reverse racism, what do they all have in common? Stating that reverse racism isn't real. Y'all white people are dangerous. The horror story is white people are a plague to the planet. Here's one that says white people are crazy. And finally, how white people
You get it. You get it. You understand now. Kill Whitey! Remember that scene of Chris Farley in Tommy Boy? Where he gets all high, wanders onto the stage after talking with the Rastafarians. And then all the crowd is out there. And he starts ranting and raving. And at the end he says, kill Whitey! And it's like, what? Fucking stop the record. Everybody fucking freezes. There's fucking, you could hear crickets. if that same exact scene were to take place nowadays in pop culture, and somebody were to say kill Whitey, it would be met with raucous applause. This is how far we have fallen. I'm telling you, in the future, men are simply going to be known as Nazis. White men, they're going to be called Hitlers. Yep, that's the future. That's peak clown world. Once they change the language that much, shift the Overton window that much, just simply being a man is going to earn you Nazi status. But of course, the most dangerous form of Nazi is the Hitler. So that is reserved for the white men. Yeah, I had a whole mythos behind this for a good comic idea. I talked about in a previous episode that I won't get into because it was a long rant. But yeah. Yeah, they're trying to make you feel ashamed of being proud of your country, of being proud of who you are as a person. Like, no. If you're proud of your country and proud of who you are as a person, then they call you a white nationalist. And they put you on a fucking list. And at some point, they'll round you up, put you in a camp if they don't take you out with a Reaper drone first. Throw you in fucking some sort of a prison, an underground facility, a FEMA camp, someplace. 20 years. Yep. Restricted Act. Look it up. I'm not fucking joking. The Restricted Act. They're getting ready to pass this shit. It's going to monitor all online communications. And if you say anything against the narrative that they don't like, they're going to fucking bring the fucking hammer down on you. Can't even have VPNs anymore. Yeah, Biden's setting to have an army of influencers for the next election, too. Bunch of fucking TikTokers and shit. Yeah, just to counter Trump, just in case Trump ends up running because he's so powerful on social media. We got to stop Trump. So they fucking plan to get all of these stupid, worthless fucking Gen Zers to fucking pimp his fucking leftist bullshit, I guess. No doubt Mr. Beast and his buddy Chris will be part of that shit. Yeah, Mr. Beast. I hope you're fucking happy, Mr. Beast. You sold your fucking soul to the woke alphabet mafia, you piece of fucking shit. Sold your fucking soul. You can tell by looking into the guy's eyes, too. He knows he sold his fucking soul to those people. You will eat the bugs, boy. You will own nothing, and you will be happy. Yeah, I remember I was talking to a leftist friend of mine a while back, trying to explain to him about the Great Reset and shit like that. And this guy's a brain-dead leftist. I mean, total cucked leftist piece of shit. I don't even know why I'm fucking friends with this guy. Just so I could use him for material, for stories and shit like that, basically. But I'm trying to tell this fucking piece of shit about the Great Reset and what they have planned for us. And he's like, well, when are they going to do this? 1,000 years from now? Like, no. By the year 2030, they plan to do it. They have it written down in their books. Yeah, literally, they can tell you exactly what they're going to do to you. And you could try to warn people. But people are so fucking stupid. And it's always leftists. It's always fucking leftists. Like, just imagine, like, being lockstep with everything, and I mean everything, said by the United Nations, the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, the media, Hollywood, etc., Fauci, Bill Gates. Imagine being lockstep with all of that shit, and at the same time thinking you're some sort of a rebel or you're part of a counterculture. No, you're a fucking sheep is what you are. Nothing more than a fucking NPC. And the problem is there are too many fucking sheep and NPCs out there. Yeah, I'm sure you've encountered the fucking sheep and the NPC. You try to fucking just explain simple reality to them, and they act like they don't know. They're, oh, you know how they are. You've seen them before. You know the ones.
I own nothing, have no privacy, and life has never been better. Bro, this is the World Economic Forum Twitter. What fucking more context do you need?
What is the context? Do you know what context means?
This is their ideology. Explain to me.
As an intelligent human being who's thinking, I don't know what the fuck any of this means. When I want to know something, I read an article or I read what the context of the statement is.
This is a philosophy. If they're gonna tweet
I don't know what it means.
If they're gonna tweet, what do you mean you don't know what it means? The words are right there.
You're a bot.
How do you not understand basic words on the screen?
Fed to you
by the World Economic Forum.
To interpret what does this mean?
They want you to own nothing, but how are you going to try to say like I don't know what this means, and they're telling you?
Because you need more context. I just gave you an example.
Yeah, you see what I mean. There's too many fucking idiots out there. Like anytime you try to just speak simple common sense to them, it's because I've said this before. It's a religion to these people. It's a fucking religion. And whenever you try to speak counter to it, it's like trying to tell a Muslim that Allah doesn't exist, or a Christian that Jesus isn't real. You're just going counter to their religion, and they're going to fight it with every fucking tooth and nail. Only difference is, with their politics, it's stronger than religion. It's the only bond I've ever seen that's stronger than religion. It's stronger than love itself. I've seen leftists completely disown their family members because they voted for Trump or they're conservatives or whatever. I mean, this is how these people are. This is a bond more powerful than religion, more powerful than love itself. This is some fucking dark, deep and dark shit going on. People that ascribe to leftist politics. Yep. It's just a churched up form of Satanism is all it is, nothing more. Sacrificing children in the womb. If those children happen to be born, do your damnedest to fucking groom them to become alphabet people. Do your damnedest to take away people's freedoms, civil liberties, guns, private property, etc., etc. Yeah, who the fuck could ever get on board with that shit? Thinking men can have periods and get pregnant? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Cheerleading for the fucking media and Hollywood and for the bankers. Being all about war. War with every fucking country under the sun. Remember when the left used to be anti-war? Remember when they used to be anti-establishment? Now they're lockstep with the fucking corporate fucking whatever. Nothing more than fucking pawns and puppets. Sheep. NP fucking Cs. Yeah, speaking of sheep and NPCs, looks like we got somebody else in the back room. This person deserves a little bit of an intro. None other than John De La Rose himself.
Using his victimhood to hold on to what little relevancy he still has. John will never be able to overcome the gamma male within him. John is the incredible soul.
John De La Rose, welcome to the show.
I told you, Big Daddy, John is my dead name. Call me Daniela now. I'm here to talk about trans rights. Don't you know there's a trans genocide going on right now? I stand in full solidarity with my good friend Dylan Mulvaney. Trans women are women. Down with the patriarchy. Down with white supremacy. Down with bigotry.
Shut the fuck up, you stupid piece of shit. Bone secure, tippy toes, walking ass motherfucker. Fucking, something looked a little different about John. I don't know. You look a little different, John. What's going on?
Why, thank you for noticing, Big Daddy. The hormone replacement therapy has made my facial features appear much more feminine. Soon I will have my first bottom surgery. And afterwards, if you don't decide to dilate my axe wound with your thick throbbing cock, then you're a bigot.
Yeah, hard pass. Hard pass. Yeah, you like to hear all of these conservatives and all of these people who say that they're not woke fucking talk about how they're anti-trans this, how they're anti-trans that. But then when it comes to a troon like Blair White, like, oh, I'd stick my penis in that axe wound. It's like, really? Like, really? You would stick your penis in that axe wound? Does Blair White have an axe wound, or did Blair White cut it off yet? I don't know. I don't care. Yeah, that's, you can't be all against all this trans wokeness, but then be all for Blair White. No. Blair White's just as bad as the rest of them. Taking all of this fucking trans bullshit and putting it on a pedestal, pedestalizing it. Fucking kids see that shit and like, oh, I want to be like Blair White. Like, no. You fucking you tuck that shit up and you keep it in the closet is what you do. You don't fucking parade that shit around. Yeah, one of the fucking things that really irked me the most when I was going around and watching various videos about the Bud Light shit and the Mr. Beast shit, everybody always had to preface their fucking video by saying, now, I don't care what you do with your life. I'm going to want to judge you. If you want to go do blah, 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 you can do it as long as you don't hurt nobody. One after another, everybody said that. You want to know what I say? I care how you live your life. I care. Yeah, I fucking care. If you're going to fucking parade that shit around out there in public where kids can see it, I fucking care. Because then it becomes poison for society. Yeah, I fucking care. You're just a bigot, Big Daddy. You're a transphobe. You're a phobe. Yeah, call me a phobe if you want, but you're getting it wrong. You see, when they try to use that word phobe, it means that you're scared or whatever. Like, I don't fear alphabet people. I don't fear troons. Except for the macho ma'am tranny savage. We should all fear her. It's ma'am! But yeah. There's a vast difference between being a phobe and just simply not tolerating that shit. And I don't tolerate it. You see, I don't tolerate mental illness. I don't tolerate insanity. I just simply don't tolerate it. You can call me intolerant if you want, but I'm not a fucking phobe. I'm not scared of those people. No. I don't tolerate that shit. I'm intolerant. Yeah, I care how you live your life. I'm not one of these fucking people saying, oh, you can live your life however. No. I care. You keep that fucking shit in the closet. That's what you should do. You shouldn't parade that fucking shit out there where kids can see it. Because then you become poison for society. You see all of the fucking trans shooters out there right now. Fucking, the kids are getting groomed. All it's going to lead is to a high suicide rate. And the ones that don't yeet themselves are just going to become pure fucking psychopaths and sociopaths. Many of them may become serial killers. I know how we deal with all this fucking shit. On a real level, I know how we deal with it. Fuck this right-wing extremism. No. What we do is we take the entire alphabet mafia and we label it a terrorist organization. That's how you deal with it. You label the alphabet people as a terrorist organization, and you go from there. And like that, if you come out and you declare that you're a troon, like if this guy, Mr. Beast's buddy, Chris, comes out, starts trooning out in front of the fucking camera for kids, all of a sudden, Delta Force comes and a midnight 3 a.m. raid rounds that motherfucker up, takes him to Guantanamo Bay, and you never fucking see him again. That's what you do. You treat the alphabet mafia like a terrorist organization. That's what you do. Because at the end of the day, that's what they fucking are. That's what they fucking are. And they must be treated as such. All of these fucking troons, round them up. Midnight 3 a.m. raids, take them to Guantanamo Bay. Like that. Never seen again. Yeah, you clean up society real fucking quick if you do that. It ain't going to be done, though. Obviously not. Oh, you're just a phobe, Daddy. You're a transphobe. No, I don't tolerate that shit. I don't fucking tolerate it. There's a vast difference. When it becomes poison for society, then it needs to be purged. Too many people fucking tolerate that shit. Tolerance and inclusion are the last quote-unquote virtues of a dying society. Always have been. Yep. For real. I speak the truth. So you best make your peace some other way. Looks like John has something else to say. John, I hope you're fucking happy crooning out the way you are. Just, what the fuck does your wife think about this shit? What kind of a fucking example are you setting for your fucking children, John? What is the real reason why you're doing this? Why are you fucking trans people doing this, John? Tell me the fucking truth. I want the fucking truth.
Don't you get it yet, Big Daddy? This is about power. As a trans woman, I am a whole new class of person. We are above the law. We get to say what we want, do what we want, go where we want. There's no stopping what can't be stopped. No canceling what can't be canceled. And if you try, well then you're a bigot. And you will be the one who gets canceled.
You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. The immortal words of Arnold Schwarzenegger. You son of a bitch. Oh, Blair White still has the D. Yeah, it's usually after they go full troon and fucking give themselves the axe wound. And then they realize they fucked up. They got to stick fucking rubber silicone whatever's up there to keep themselves dilated, or else the wound just basically closes up. Like, just do yourself the way the old Chinese used to do it, with a fucking knife, and just turn yourself into a eunuch, where you still got your pee hole. You're not sticking anything up anywhere, obviously, but at least it's a lot cleaner. You know, you don't have a festering wound. Yeah, a lot of people don't get it or understand, but you don't become a woman. All you do is become a mutilated man. No matter how much hormone you pump into yourself, no matter how much surgeries you have, you're never going to be a woman. You're just going to be nothing more than a mentally ill man. That's the way it goes. That's the way it fucking goes. For real. It's kind of hard out here for a simp. Yeah. Fuck, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. Maybe we'll take another little mini break. Then we'll come back and knock the show out. Maybe I'll even throw the Streamyard's link out there if anybody wants to pop on. Yeah, let me throw on something while I get up, stretch the legs. I'm going to come out and close the show out. Booyah. It's kind of hard out here for a simp. All right. Yeah, we're going to take a little break, guys. Then we're going to be back, and then we're going to finish the show out in style. And we're back. Yep. They want to create the ultimate surveillance state with this Restrict Act. I know that. You know what the Panopticon is? It was a special prison that was made one time. And it had this spire, this tower that went up in the middle where the guards were in. And all around the perimeter of the tower were all of the cells. So it was like a circle around a tower where the guards could see you at all times. And the entire thing behind the Panopticon was to mess with the prisoner psychologically, knowing that no matter what, they're always being watched. That's what this Restrict Act is. It's the digital version of the Panopticon. Yeah, you guys hear about the leaked Ukraine docs? Little story going on. Supposedly, some documents about the Ukraine leaked, and it all came from a Discord server. Thug Shaker Central, it was called. And the guy was a military person. And it was like anybody who's familiar with Discord knows. Well, it was just full of right-wing racist memes and shit like that. So what they're going to do is they're going to use this as an excuse, like a further excuse. Like this coming off of right before the Restrict Act, they're going, hey, look, this is the reason why we need to pass the Restrict Act. Look, to prevent stuff like this from happening. So it makes me think, I wonder if the leaked docs weren't just a psyop the whole time. They were meant to be leaked. Yeah, but when you look at what was in the leaked Ukraine docs, it turns out we got boots on the ground over there in the Ukraine. We got special forces. Yeah, we're actually at war with Russia, amongst other things. Turns out the Ukrainians are in dire straits. I think that was another reason why it was strategically leaked. Like, oh shit, look, the Ukrainians are actually in trouble. We need to send them another $50 billion package. But at the end of the day, all this Ukraine documents leaks bullshit gives the media further excuse to paint people on the right as extremists. It gives the powers that be a further excuse to try to clamp down on any sort of rights we have left as far as internet goes. Yeah, hopefully there's some Republicans out there that step up and prevent this Restrict Act from actually getting passed. I doubt it, though. They are very good controlled opposition. It's like Goofy versus Palpatine. I've said this before. Goofy loses that fight every fucking time. If Goofy ever wins any battles, it's by pure happenstance, coincidence, and luck. The last time Goofy won any battles against these people was in 2016 when Trump accidentally won the election. And they've been kicking and screaming about it ever since. They're still trying to get back at him. They're going to throw him in jail before it's all said and done. Yeah. We'll see if that happens. Then they could stage something and blame it on his supporters, give them a further excuse to crack down, take away various civil liberties, freedoms, and rights, whatever ones we have left. Yeah. They're all about war, left. They fucking love war. I remember they used to be all about I mean, there's even like the most hardcore fucking warmongers even came out and said that the Iraq war was a mistake. Like, I wonder how many of these fucking pieces of shit 20 years later are going to say the Ukraine war was a mistake too. I wonder. No, they treat it like it's a fucking sporting event and shit, basically. Could you imagine if old school World War II shit was treated like a sporting event, the same way that the left and the media treats modern war as a sporting event? Could you imagine that shit?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fox's coverage of an American bombing run on Hiroshima. I'm Joe Buck, and with me, as always, is Troy Aikman. It's a crisp August morning in southern Japan, and what goes better in the morning than Dunkin' Donuts? America runs on Dunkin'. Japan's air defenses have been laughable in the last few months, Troy. Do you see them putting up any kind of a fight?
I just can't, Joe. Japan has been miserable recently, but they just refuse to quit.
It looks like we're starting here, so let's cut to the aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Here comes the Enola Gay. It's about overhead of Hiroshima now. Gay, and he drops the payload. Let's take another look with the Toyota Instant Replay.
Looks like it only dropped one bomb, Joe. Can't expect it to do much damage.
You really can't, Troy. But what you can expect is for America to tune in to a brand new episode of The Simpsons, followed by a new Family Guy, only on Fox. And that was a massive explosion, Troy. Let's hear from Aaron Andrews down in downtown Hiroshima. Aaron, looks like we're having some technical issues with the headset. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Remember me? I drop bombs like Hiroshima. Yeah, them was back in the day. Post-World War II, the 1950s came along, and you had the 1950s trad wife, the Stepford wife, as it was called. And a lot of people like to look back at that time, the 1950s, and say that was the golden moment where, where the patriarchy was at its fucking peak, where women knew their roles, men knew their roles. Men would go out and work, women would stay home, take care of the children. Man would come home, there'd be dinner made. The kids were taken care of. It was a different time. You could buy a car outright for a few grand. You could buy a nice house for about 30 grand. Milk was only $1. Eggs was like 50 cents. It was a different time. Yeah, them were the days. The days of the trad wife. Yeah, I hear trad wives are trending. Yeah, trad wives are trending, the whole trad wife thing. But what the left is trying to do is paint the whole trad wife phenomenon as white supremacy. Yep, it's the patriarchy. Just simple women that want to stay home and cook good meals and take care of their men and have children. Like, that is considered white supremacy now. Yep, these motherfuckers. Like, well, what's the alternative? They try to make fun of women and shame them out of wanting love and having relationships by calling them pick-me girls. You're just a pick-me girl. Like, well, what are you then? A hoe? An e-thought? Yeah, the ones that call the girls the pick-me girls are always the hoes and the e-thoughts. Yeah, the funny part is those hoes, they always end up regretting it in the end. When has a hoe ever said that I was proud of being a hoe, taking all that dick? Like, rarely ever do you see it happen. Yeah, even the apex feminist, the bitch that created the Sex and the City franchise, even she came out and denounced all of it, basically. Said it was all a lie. It was one of the worst things she ever did. It poisoned an entire generation of women, Sex and the City. And it did. Sex and the City ruined an entire generation of women. Yeah, I heard a stat that they say it's going to be 45%, but it's going to be more. I bet it's going to be 50%. But they say by the year 2030, they say half of women are going to be single and alone. Yeah, so they say to start investing in various cat food companies and shit like that, vibrators, shit like that. The shit that single women love, box wine. Yep. You can make a small fortune if you put all your stocks in cat food, box wine, and vibrators. Yep, it's coming. It's fucking coming. All of these girls that made fun of these other women, calling them pick-me girls, are going to end up dying alone, surrounded by empty boxes of wine in their little one-bedroom apartment stinking of cat piss with their fucking vibrator inside of them. Yep. But it's good to see some good thing trending. I'm all for this trad wife phenomenon. Yeah, let it trend. Let women start becoming traditional again. Like, why not? Why try to shame women out of that? Why try to shame women out of having, desire to be a loving housewife and a good mother? Just seems evil. It's a direct assault upon femininity is what it is. That's what feminism truly is. It's an assault upon all things truly feminine. These fucking feminists are the ones that champion these troons the most, too. These troons that are damaging women's sports and that pose the biggest threat to women today. It's not men or the patriarchy, whatever. It's troons is what it is. It's mentally ill men LARPing around as women. That's the biggest threat women face today. There are a few speaking out against it, though. J.K. Rowling, Riley Gaines, a few of them. Not enough. Not enough. And men like Big Daddy, we're too few and far between, and nobody takes us seriously. It's the women that have to fucking step up and start speaking out against this shit. Or they're just going to wake up overnight and find out like that. They've been canceled. They've been erased. And they've been replaced by mentally ill men. Yeah, plans to one day find a more traditional woman in a country not completely ravaged by feminism, or in Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, Philippines, somewhere over there. Yeah, America is basically a lost cause. If English is her primary language, there's a good chance she's a 304. You know what I mean? Yeah. Women, they got body counts higher than Dahmer nowadays. Yeah, the traditional housewife just simply doesn't exist for the most part. It's just hoes. And you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. There's been songs written about it. Yeah, a lot of you don't have no idea how skeezy some of these bitches are. No idea.
It got to a point where, like, I was 19 and I got kicked out of my house because I was, like, bringing over 6 dudes a night. Like, it just was never enough.
What? Wait, 6 dudes a night?
For, like, a consecutive week, yeah.
So 6 times 30?
Well, 6 times 7
Well, she said, wait, 6 times, well, I'm thinking a week, Monday through Friday.
No. Weekends were my rally days. What do you mean?
Oh, would you slot them in, like, 7 p.m., 8 p.m.,
Yeah.
9 p.m., 10 p.m.?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And then I would even, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'd say I would even, like, have, like, my backup guys to where it was, like, if this guy didn't come tonight, then I would invite this guy.
Are you using protection?
No.
No?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. And you were meeting, you said almost all of these guys from Tinder or dating apps.
Tinder or Bumble. I got kicked off. I got perma-banned off Tinder. They will not have me back.
Yep, that's what you died for. That's what you died for. The greatest generation. Fucking storming the beaches of Normandy. Braving that machine gun fire. That's what you fucking died for right there. So that your granddaughters could get fucking cream pied over 36 times in 1 week. Jesus Christ. Yikes. Yeah, that bitch has had so much male DNA pumped into her. Her fucking entire being has been transmogrified. She don't even look like a real woman anymore. She looks like a fucking gargoyle. Goddamn chimera of some sort. A chimera. C-U-M. A chimera. That's what happens to these bitches. They get cream pied by so many dudes. Their fucking DNA gets transmogrified. And they change into something different. Yeah, the modern day Jezebels is what they are. Yeah, this is what hookup culture does to women too. You tell that woman's completely broken too. Could you imagine putting a ring on that bitch and thinking that you can start a family or any sort of a future with a woman like that? No, there's no future with a woman like that. And that is basically your average Western female. Yeah, this is what hookup culture does to women. It completely destroys them. Fries their brains. They can't produce oxytocin anymore. They can't feel the emotion known as love. They can't pair bond. It's utterly broken, ticking time bombs. The very most, you can get a few years out of the relationship till she finally decides to divorce you. And if you have any kids with her, she's going to steal those children, use the fucking family courts against you. They always do. They always do. Yeah, the modern Western female. There's a phenomenon going on called sinks. S-I-N-K. Sinks. Stands for single income, no kids. And it's basically, it's describing these women that I've talked about. These women that are post-wall. They have no real relationship with a man. They got vibrators. They entertain themselves with Netflix and box wine, and more often than not, they have cats or chihuahuas to take the place of their children that they would normally have with a man if we were living under normal societal conditions. Sinks. Single income, no kids. That's what they're called. Yeah, this is what feminism has done to the modern Western female. Turned them into Jezebels. Yeah, Jezebel from the Bible, a woman so synonymous with wickedness that to this day nobody will dare name their daughters after her. Yeah, but when you get down to brass tacks and you compare the modern Western female to Jezebel from the Bible, and you come to realize it's a whole different story, really. Yeah, and you look at Jezebel from the Bible a little bit differently. And you realize just how far we have truly fallen as a people. Yeah, a lot of people hear the name thrown around, but don't really know the true tale of Jezebel. Yeah, these modern Western bitches, they Jezebels. Like, no, not really. They are, but not really. Yeah, Jezebel, a woman so synonymous with wickedness and evil. To this day, nobody will dare name their daughters after her. Art Bell in the chat. You came just in time. You got ready to tell the tale of Jezebel. It's a tale I tell every once in a while, about every 6 months or so. It's a tale that always needs to be told every once in a while. It's important when you see the state of the modern Western female. You look at Comicsgate, it's just a microcosm of it too. Mandy Summers, she's a fucking Jezebel. Same as Sheila Allen. Same as Brittany Mayer, Anna, they're all Jezebels. But are they really? Like, when you truly compare Jezebel to the modern Western female, you have an epiphany is what you do. Where you see Jezebel, she was a woman that lived way back in the biblical times, during the times of the Israelis, the Israelites, during the time of King David. Well, anyway, during this particular era, the Israelites were ruled by King Ahab. He was the king of the Israelites at the time. And it came time for Ahab to marry and to sire the next generation that would take his place as king. And Ahab decided to take upon himself a heathen wife by the name of Jezebel, a Canaanite princess. Yeah, she was a high priestess of Baal. Yeah, Baal was one of these pagan gods in which they would sacrifice children to. Yeah, one of these demonic Canaanite gods. Ahab took this woman as his bride, a high priestess of the cult of Baal, Jezebel, a Canaanite princess. Well, anyway, Jezebel, she was renowned for her beauty. What she would do is she would put on makeup. Anyway, Ahab, he quickly became submissive to her. And before long, what Jezebel did was she spread her ways throughout the land in the city of Jezreel. And what happened was she ordered all of the priests to be executed. All of the priests rounded up and killed. And most of them were. However, Obadiah, advisor to the king, he took several priests and hid them in the mountains to keep them safe from Jezebel's wrath. Yeah, this bitch, she wasn't playing around. Yeah, and the way the Canaanites, the way they worshiped their gods is they would have orgies in their temples, and they would sacrifice children. All sorts of fucking weird, nasty, evil shit. And this became normalized throughout the land and all throughout the city of Jezreel. In the city of Jezreel, they had these wild feral dogs that would run around and eat whatever scraps and bits and bobs that fell on the ground. That was the state. Now there was a particular fellow by the name of Naboth. Now he was the neighbor of Ahab, the king. He had a piece of land that was adjacent to Ahab's land. Now Naboth, he had these vast vineyards and gardens. And what happened was Ahab, he gazed upon the vineyards of Naboth, and he coveted them. He wanted those vineyards for himself. So he told Naboth, hey, I will give you more money than what it's worth if you were to sell me those vineyards. I want them for myself, because I want to add them to my own land. It's right next to mine. But these lands were in Naboth's family for generations. And he politely declined Ahab. And he's like, I'm sorry, but I can't sell these lands. Like, these lands have been in my family for generations, so I'm going to pass them to my children. So Ahab, he became so sad. All he did was sulk around in the palace. And Jezebel saw him. And she came up to him and was trying to figure out what's going on. So he told her about his whole ordeal with Naboth and the gardens. So Jezebel just says, just take his gardens. You are king. You should be able to take what you want. But Ahab, he's kind of weak. He's like, I can't just take the gardens or whatever. And Jezebel, I guess she became sickened seeing her man in this state. So she wanted to make him feel good. She wanted to make him happy. She wanted to see him happy again. So what Jezebel did was she hatched a plot. And what she did was she orchestrated a grand feast to be held. And at the feast, Naboth would be at the feast. And so would Ahab. And so would all of the heads of state, all of the important people from the city of Jezreel. They're all going to be there at this feast. And what Jezebel did was she paid 2 men to come forward at the feast and lie and say that Naboth was talking shit about King Ahab. And if you speak ill of the king in any way, then you can be executed. Anyway, the feast happened, and the 2 men stepped forward, and they bore false witness against Naboth. And so it was with the law, Naboth was executed. And after he was executed, his lands became Ahab's lands. And Jezebel had orchestrated the whole thing without even telling Ahab. She just wanted to see her man happy, basically. Anyway, God was watching this the whole time, seeing the priests of Israel being killed, driven into the mountains, seeing the Canaanites taking over the temples, having orgies, engaging in child sacrifice. So God got pissed. And what he did was he sent a drought that lasted for 3 years. Yep, he did it as punishment for their pagan ways. 3 years had passed and no rains had come. Anyway, during the time, a certain prophet popped onto the scene. A prophet by the name of Elijah. Now he was one of these warrior priests that didn't fuck around. Now he was in direct contact with God. God would speak directly to Elijah. And what God did was he said, "Okay, Elijah, it's time to show the people of Israel the one true God. Now here's what you're going to do. You're going to challenge Jezebel and her pagan priests. You're going to challenge them. You're going to bring them out here, and then we're going to show them who the one true God is with a contest." So the prophet Elijah went and he challenged the pagan priests of Jezebel. So she sent over 800 of her pagan priests against him. Priests from the demon gods Baal and Asherah. 850 altogether. Now what the contest was, what they did was they took a bull and they cut the bull into pieces. And then they put the bull upon a pyre made of wood. And what they were going to do is beseech their God to light that pyre by using his power, his divine power. And they're going to have a test, a challenge. Whose God was more powerful? The pagan gods of Baal and Asherah, or the one true God? Anyway, the bulls were cut up. They were placed upon the pyres. All of the people from the city of Jezreel came, from all the lands as well, and they bore witness to this contest. And they started it at the very beginning of the day when the sun first came up. And the prophet Elijah, he offered the pagan priests of Jezebel to go first. So what they did was they started beseeching their gods to light the bull, set it aflame. And as was their custom, they started cutting themselves and bleeding all over the place and inflicting pain upon themselves. And they did that all the way up until noon. And they took a little break. And then they went again, doing the same thing, inflicting more pain upon themselves, invoking their God to light the bull, show the people who the one true God is. Cut themselves more, blood all over the place. And then finally night came. The sun finally dropped down. By this time, the entire altar is covered in blood. Priests are all cut to hell. But their pagan gods did not light the fire for them. Nope. So after the sun went down and nighttime came, the prophet Elijah said, "All right, now it's my turn. But first, this is what we're going to do. Go ahead and dig a small little moat around the pyre." So what the people did was they dug a small little moat around the fire, a couple inches deep. And then Elijah ordered a large jug of water to be brought and poured upon the pieces of the bull. And they took a massive jug of water, poured it all over the pieces of the bull. And then Prophet Elijah said, "Pour another jug on there." So they took another huge jug of water, poured it all over the pyre. And then Prophet Elijah said, "One more time, pour one more jug on it." So they poured one more jug of water on there. And this time it started spilling out over the side, and it filled up the small little moat that they built around the perimeter of it. So basically, the entire pyre was soaked with water. The bull soaked with water. And then, knowing that it was completely soaked with water, with the sun down, knowing that he was going to get full theatrical spectacle effect, Elijah beseeches the Lord and says, "Lord, light this pyre now." And like that, the power of the Lord was revealed, and the pyre went up like a massive laser almost. And within a matter of seconds, the entire thing was incinerated, nothing but ashes. Even the water that was collected around the outside completely evaporated. Like that. And at that moment, the Israelites knew who the one true God was, and they all fell to their knees. And Prophet Elijah looked over at the pagan priests of Jezebel, pointed, and said, "Seize them!" And the people of Israel seized the pagan priests of Jezebel, all 850 of them. And they took them down into the Kishon Valley. Now, I said before, Prophet Elijah, he was a warrior priest. A warrior priest. So what he did was he took his sword, oiled and sharpened, and he went down into the Kishon Valley, and he personally executed every last one of the pagan priests of Jezebel, all 850 of them. And then he ordered King Ahab to be brought to him, because he has another little surprise for him. So the people brought King Ahab to him, and Prophet Elijah met King Ahab. He says, "I have killed Jezebel's pagan priests, and I also have a message from God. He will bring back the rains. Look." And he pointed off in the distance. And all of a sudden, a small cloud formed. But then that small cloud grew. And then like that, it became a massive squall. And then the rains they started coming down. And they started coming down hard. And Ahab's like, "Oh shit. Like we gotta go back to the city and let Jezebel know." So Elijah and King Ahab marched back to the city of Jezreel to go let Jezebel know what happened, that her pagan priests had been defeated, the one true God was revealed, and the rains had returned. But word reached Jezebel before they got to the city about what had happened. Now, rather than understanding that she was defeated, what she did was she ordered Prophet Elijah to be seized and killed, just like her priests were killed. Nope, she didn't learn her lesson. Nope. So the word got back to Prophet Elijah that if he goes into the city, Jezebel's men are going to have him seized and killed. So what he did instead was he fled out into the mountains to go hide. And when he was hiding out in the mountains, he was beseeching God, "God, why? I have done everything you have said. Why has this happened?" Well, anyway, God says, "Hey, everything happens in time. What's going to happen is you will end up dying, but you will be replaced by a successor. And he will also be called Elisha, only spelt differently. Spelled S-H-A at the end instead of J-A. Anyway, J-A-H. Elijah and Elisha, the two prophets. But after Elijah dies, Elisha will take his place. And what happens after that is Elisha will anoint a new king of Israel, Jehu, son of Jehoshaphat, and he will expunge Ahab's bloodline and restore order. Anyway, after that prophecy was given to Elijah, 10 years had passed. 10 years later. And whilst that 10 years had passed, Elijah eventually died. He fell in battle against the Syrians, same as King Ahab. And Jezebel's son, Joram, came to power, became the new king of Israel. Anyway, after Elijah's replacement popped onto the scene, Prophet Elisha, the time finally came when God told Elisha, "Go to Jehu, son of Jehoshaphat, and take these oils and anoint him the new king of Israel, and have him go expunge Ahab's bloodline." And Elisha, he complied. You see, Jehu, son of Jehoshaphat, he was a general of the army during this time. A very brave, valiant general. A man of God, too. Anyway, Elisha, he came to Jehu, and he told him, "Hey, I need to talk to you in private, something very important." So talked to Jehu in private, told him exactly what's going on, that he is the prophet, that he is the successor from Elijah, and he speaks for God, and he has these special oils, and that God has told him to use these oils and to anoint you, the new king of Israel. You are to expunge Ahab's bloodline and restore order. And Jehu, without question, believed everything that Elisha said, allowed himself to be anointed with the oils, and like that, Jehu became the new king of Israel. But first, he had to expunge Ahab's bloodline. So on Jehu went to the city of Jezreel to go take care of business. Anyway, word got to Jezebel and Joram about what was going on, that Jehu was marching on the city with his army. So what happened was Joram, Jezebel's son, who was king at the time, decided to ride out and meet Jehu and see exactly what the deal is. So what he does is he goes out to meet Jehu, and he quickly realizes, damn, this guy ain't fucking around. He wants to kill me. So he turns around to flee. And what Jehu does is he takes an arrow and lets fly with the arrow, and the arrow sticks right into Joram's back, pops right out of his fucking chest, kills him stone cold dead. Jezebel's son, the king of Israel, dead. And like that, with that one fucking move, Ahab's bloodline was expunged. And now, on to the city of Jezreel, to take your rightful place on the throne, and to confront Jezebel herself. Anyway, King Jehu and his army rode on to the city of Jezreel. And at this time, Jezebel had learned about what had happened, that her son was dead, and that Jehu was coming to kill her. So what she did was she casually put on her makeup. Yep, put on her makeup, ready to seduce him, thinking that maybe she could somehow get into his good graces, become the queen, maybe. So she puts on her makeup. And as Jehu and his army comes to the gates of Jezreel, she is seen hanging out of the towers and with her makeup on, and she starts taunting him. Anyway, Jehu looks up at this bitch, and she's surrounded by her eunuch slaves. And he looks at the eunuchs, and he says, "Who amongst you is with me?" Anyway, of her three eunuch slaves step forward. Of all of her eunuchs, 3 step forward. Anyway, Jehu, he tells these 3 eunuchs, "Throw her down." So what happens was a small wrestling match between Jezebel and her eunuchs. And her eunuchs eventually wrestle her and then grab her and whoosh, schlep her over the fucking railing, and she falls to the ground, fucking stone cold dead. Betrayed by her eunuchs. Never trust a fucking eunuch. Yeah, anyway, Jehu and his men were all celebrating in the mead hall. And Jehu is like, you know what? She was she was the daughter of a king. She should be given a proper burial. Go find her remains and bury her. So anyway, they go to find Jezebel's remains to give her a proper burial. Only problem is the only thing they can find is her feet and her skull. The wild dogs of Jezreel had devoured her. Yep, devoured by wild dogs. Fitting into an evil feminist, I guess. Yep, that is the tale of Jezebel. A lot of important life lessons can be gleaned from the tale of Jezebel. Yeah, King Ahab, he was a weak man. Boy, of all the kings of Israel, God hated Ahab the most, because he was a weak man. God hates weak men, especially weak men who are submissive and subservient to women. Because everybody knows Without the loving, strong guidance of a righteous man, women will always stray to sin. Just like with Eve and the snake. It's a tale as old as time. Had Ahab put his fucking foot down and forced Jezebel to give up her pagan ways, like, no, we're not going to be worshiping your pagan gods. You are going to worship my God. That's how things are going to go. None of that shit would have happened. Yeah, but when you really get down to brass tacks and you look at what Jezebel did, it never specifically talked about how she cheated on Ahab. No, it didn't specifically say it, although it was kind of implied with all of the orgies going on in the temples. But yeah, fucking Jezebel, she saw her man was sad, so she orchestrated the death of Naboth to give him his gardens, just to make him happy, so he wouldn't be sulking around anymore. Yeah, she ensured that her firstborn son ascended to the throne to become king. She didn't try to divorce her man, nothing like that. No, she had strong values, a pillar of her community, a true mama bear, so to speak. Yeah, when you get down to brass tacks and you compare Jezebel to the modern Western female, you realize that Jezebel from the Bible, a woman so synonymous with evil and wickedness that to this day nobody will dare name their daughters after her, that Jezebel from the Bible is actually a high-quality woman when compared to the modern Western female. This is reality. This is how far we have fallen as a society. We are Babylon, the mother of harlots. That's who we are. Without the loving, strong guidance of a righteous man, much like with Eve and the snake, women will always stray to sin. A man can't be weak, can't be a fucking bitch-made male feminist, can't be a cuck. Nope. Gotta be a true, strong, hardcore motherfucker who walks a righteous path, who lives his life with golden rule principles. Do unto others as you would have done unto you, unless you're a mental or emotional masochist. Golden rule principles. That's what it's all about. Yeah, they say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Be a good cook. You get a man. The true way to that's one way you can get a man, obviously. But to really win a man's eternal love and devotion is help with his finances. You help a man with his finances, help him in his wallet, that man will be forever fucking like devoted to that woman. A few women realize that, though. They would rather be anchors on their husband and pull them down rather than be wings and help him ascend. That's the way I see a relationship with a woman. She's either an anchor that pulls you down or she's wings that helps you ascend. That's the key, finding a woman that's not going to be an anchor, but that's going to be wings, if you know what I mean. Yep. Well, we've ranted and raved quite a bit. Yeah, I think we might end the show. But let's go ahead and take a gander through the chat real quick. See what's going on. Saw Art Bell popped in. A modern Western Anna. Yeah, Anna, it's kind of disappointing seeing her become an e-thought. It's always disappointing when you see women become e-thoughts. Maybe she'll take up the trad wife trend, who knows. Yeah, she needs to start fucking selling her bathwater or something. hot malt in the city, like the antithesis of Sex in the City. Yeah, nobody's getting married anymore, really. Like I said, my plan is to go to Southeast Asia, one of those countries. But I also have an emergency backup plan for if I ever stay in the States. I'll, there's a certain life hack that I know about. And maybe I'll reveal this life hack. Oh, I'm almost out of battery. Hold on, let me plug in my charger real quick. Yeah, yeah, I was going to say a certain life hack. Now, a lot of people don't know it about the Amish people, but they have a certain weakness. And I know what the weakness is of the Amish. It's bluegrass. Yep. The Amish have a weakness for bluegrass. So if you can sing bluegrass, you can sing hillbilly music, you can sing country, you can sing folk songs. What you do is you grab a guitar, you go over there to Amish country, and you go and put on a concert somewhere. And like that, like they'll be throwing their fucking daughters at you. And you could just like move into an Amish community and just take your pick of the litter, basically. You could have your own version of The Bachelor. You have like a little contest and everything. See who cooks the best food. See who churns the best butter. Beauty pageant, talent show. Instead of handing out a rose, you hand out a big old fat, like bud stalk. They call it green corn out there, I guess. And at the very end of the final two, you have them like fight it out in some sort of arena. Like whoever wants me more, fucking is gonna fight for me. And then the last one standing, I'll end up marrying. Yeah, that's the fucking Plan Z. Yeah, because that's about the only place you're gonna find a traditional woman in this day and age, in some Amish community. Yeah, but even then, I've heard stories about the Amish. They're pretty gangster. Like, a lot of people don't know how gangster the Amish really are on the under. Yeah. The Amish tradwife decathlon. Go ahead and like fucking live stream the whole thing too. It'd be some good entertainment. Better than any sort of Mr. Beast shit. All right, let's go back to the chat here. Anna hasn't released her calendar yet. I hear people are starting to get cash grab trickling it out there. Funny part is, no reviews for it yet. I wonder if it's got the obligatory 8 out of 10 from well-read reviews yet. Yeah, I wonder how old Anna is. She looks like she's in her 30s. Has Steel Worldwide heard news about his thread on Pee Wee Farms yet? I wonder what his reaction would be, knowing that he's got a thread. Yeah, I was once told I have the patience of Job. In this day and age, you almost got to have the patience of Job, or else you end up strangling somebody to death. Enter our bloodlines, baby. Yeah, that was a good Dean and Vicky stream. Real triggering. You can tell that triggered a lot of people when you got over 50 people watching you. Yeah, but there's a lot of CG simps wondering what happened to Mandy. What happened to Mandy? She got shamed. That's what happened. He who has perversed his ways shall be known. Yeah, all my shows are pretty fire. I try not to put on a bad show. Yeah, a lot of people don't preach the Bible properly. They hear these fucking preachers tell these real soyified versions. Too many damn modern Jezebels. Actually, not enough Jezebels. If there were more women that actually conducted themselves just like Jezebel from the Bible, it'd be a lot more high quality women. I know that. A lot more traditional fucking tradwife types. They may be worshiping pagan gods, but they're all fucking worship pagan gods anyway. They're all witches. Fucking think that their entire life is mapped out for them by various planets. Oh, I'm a Capricorn. I'm a Virgo. Blah blah blah. Jesus Save says, I live in Germany. No Amish here. Complete godless nation. But we have plenty hot females. Again, you have to work their mind into submission. Yeah. Looks like I've gone through all of the chat there. Shit, we're almost at the 3-hour mark. Yeah. I think we're going to go ahead and end the show. Yeah, it's been a fun one, guys. Yeah, we'll go ahead and end it with a song. Maybe a bit. Maybe a song and a bit. We'll let Biggie Smalls and Johnny Cash play us out. Save your love through loneliness. Save your love through sorrow. I'll give you my loneliness. Give me your tomorrow.
He stood on the ground. He weighed 235 pounds. I love it when they call me Big Pop. To all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to lace these lyrical douches in the bushes who rock grooves and make moves with all the mommies. The back of the club, sipping my wet is where you find me. The back of the club, macking holes, my crew's behind me. Mad question asking, blunt passing, music blasting. But I just can't quit because one of these honeys Biggie got to creep with, sleep with, keep the epic secret. Why not? Why blow up my spot? Cause we both got hot. Now check it. I got more Mac than Craig and in the bed. Believe me, sweetie, I got enough to feed the needy. No need to be greedy. I got mad friends with Benzes. See notes by the layers. True fucking players. Jump in the Rover and come over. Tell your friends jump in the GS3. I got the chronic by the tree. If I were a carpenter and you were a lady, would you marry me anyway? Would you have my baby? Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. I love it when they call me Big Pop. Straight up, honey, really, I'm asking. Most of these niggas think they be macking, but they be acting. Who they attracting with that line of your name? What's your sign? Soon as he buy that wine, I just peep up from behind and ask you what your interests are. Who you be with? Things to make you smile. What numbers to dial? You gon' be here for a while. I'm gon' call my crew. You gon' call your crew. We can rendezvous at the bar around 2. Plans to leave, throw the keys to little C's. Pull the truck up front and roll up the next blunt so we can steam on the way to the telly. Go fill my belly. A T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's straight. Conversate for a few, cause in a few we gon' do what we came to do. Ain't that right, boo? Forget the telly, we just go to the crib and watch a movie in the jacuzzi, smoke L's while we do it. If I were a carpenter and you were a lady, would you marry me anyway? Would you have my baby? Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Baby. I love it when they call me Baby Pop. How you living, Biggie Smalls? Imagine and Benzes giving ends to my friends and it feels stupendous. Tremendous cream, fuck $1 in a dream. Still tote cat strapped with infrared beams. Chopping O's, smoking line optimals, money holes and clothes, all a nigga knows. A foolish pleasure, whatever. I had to find the buried treasure, so grams I had to measure. However, living better now, Gucci sweater now. Drop top BMs, I'm the man, girlfriend.
If you were a carpenter and I were a lady, I'd marry you anyway. I'd have your baby.
Save your love through loneliness, save your love through sorrow. I gave you my loneliness, give me your tomorrow. Save your love through loneliness, save your love through sorrow. I gave you my loneliness, give me your tomorrow. Save your love through loneliness.
Have you heard the one about TJ in the bank?
Nobody move unless you want your head blown off. You.
Please, please don't shoot me. I'll give you however much you want.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You think I want money? You think that's what this is about? A big angry black man comes walking in waving a gun, and you assume he's robbing the place? I ain't looking for no goddamn handout. I'm looking for a motherfucking job, bitch.
Excuse me?
You heard me? A motherfucking job. Don't you see? If you give me money, that'll just help me in the short term. But a job, that'll help me develop valuable job skills and experience. It's like teaching a man how to fish. So quit stalling, get your bitch ass back there, and give me a 40-hour-a-week position with vacation pay and benefits. You piece of shit, motherfucker, and don't make me ask twice. Back that ass up. Let's go, let's go. I can help the next motherfucking person in line. You in that apricot sweater suit. Get your bitch ass on over here now. How can I help you today?
I'd like to deposit this check, please, into my savings account, and then I need to withdraw.
Yeah. Just shut the fuck up for a minute. What the fuck you doing, Liz Ann? You calling the cops?
No.
That's the goddamn cops.
No, I swear, I was just on with an account holder. I was advising him about
I'm gonna kill you, bitch. Who the fuck is this? You a cop? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, what I recommend is that you keep at least $500 in your check and just avoid the minimum balance fee. And put the rest in our money market, which earn you an additional 2% interest. Right. You have a nice day, sir. My pleasure.
Liz Ann, sorry. My bad.
That's okay. Honest mistake.
Armed gunman. And I've been watching you, and I must say, I'm impressed. How'd you like to be our new customer services supervisor?
Mr. P, it'd be my motherfucking honor. For 12 years on that one. I'll get you 8% on that one. Everybody down now! Get the fuck down, everybody! Give me all the money. Hurry up! Hurry the fuck up! What you doing? You playing back there? Load the bag up with money and nobody else fucking move. You hurry up! Hurry the fuck up! Load the bag up! Load the bag up! You sicken me. Asking for a handout instead of raising yourself up out of your situation through hard work. Why don't you get a job like the rest of us?
Chicka chicka.